Let's see, who do we got today for FriYAY, for our FriYAY interview? Again, my name is Miss Jess, and I'm with the 180 Student Ministry, and we've got a awesome person who'll be joining us just shortly for this week's FriYAY interview. The point of these interviews is to expose you and share with you just some of the testimonies of great people just doing great things in our local community and even around the world. And this guy is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and bring him on. Here we go. Don't mind the noise in the background. Sean! Hey!
How you doing?
Good, good. I'm like, I had to make sure we weren't wearing the same hoodie. I'm like, wait, we're
Right.
not wearing
Nah.
the same hoodie, right?
Oh,
Okay, we're good.
You're wearing Christ
Yeah,
Fellowship, right?
I'm wearing this. I'm repping CF today.
So am I.
Hey, students, are you gonna be on there later?
Huh? Most likely. Most likely, yeah. I'll
Yeah,
be on.
I think we got a game night tonight.
Ooh.
I know. Hello,
I'll
jackpot.
check it
Thank
out. I'll
you.
check it out.
hmm But yeah, man. So how's it going? How are you doing? I feel like we never get to like talk.
Because we only see each other now at CF. And it's
Yes,
like,
yes, and
and we're just like vaguely catching up and then catching me like mid performance and stuff like that, or I'm catching you like right off
mhm.
stage from when you're playing. So, to be honest, I'm great, man. Thank God. This quarantine has been a blessing, in all honesty, for me
Legit.
personally. Because not only what my business venture that I'll talk about if you want me to, but just like
Yeah, yeah.
toning down and
hmm
really like examining my life with God and just the whole slow down process has made me
hmm
like self-discover, man, like self-discover like really what I want, really what my dreams are, what's important. It's been
hmm
amazing. It's been amazing, man. Like we get
Bro.
so caught up in the day to day.
No, for real, for real. Like, we've had to move the entire youth ministry at his house to like online. Like the kids are antsy and whatever, but like doing just that and then working from home. Like right now, we're in my bedroom. So,
Uh, okay.
it's probably the coolest backdrop I got. With like the guitars and everything. Makes me look more official.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's funny because like I definitely don't play as often because I was scheduled like every day of the week.
For
And
real.
like between student ministry, CFS and everything at his house and whatnot, like man, that's like intentionally slow down. I had to record something just the other day, but like legit, that was probably the first time I touched a guitar in like a month. So I get you. I get you. It's been a blessing too, like, just, being able to use the time to like really like invest in things, in relationships. Oddly enough, like, just being able to like shoot text to people and whatnot, foo foo.
Right.
And what do you call it? Yeah, just being able to take the time to like do a more consistent quiet time, things like that. Hanging out with my family. My family never sees me. This is the most we've ever seen each other. And
I feel
then,
you.
of course, a quick shout out. I became an aunt for the second time.
Aw,
Literally
congratulations.
just 2 days ago. So
Nice.
yeah, my nephew. So I got two of them now.
Wow. Nice.
Baby Robbie. So yeah,
Hey.
I'm a proud auntie. I'm a proud
Aw.
tia. So, but yeah, man, it's been great. So yeah, so basically what we do with our Friday interviews is that we definitely like touch base and like reach out to people just doing great things in their community, kind of get
Amen.
to know them a bit, just a little bit like how did you come to, do what you're doing now, and then what are you doing now? So
Nice.
I know you, we've known you, we go way back.
A little bit.
A little bit, a little bit. But just share like, one, like your name, what you do, and then honestly, I think the one thing I probably don't know a lot about is like how did you come to be doing what you're doing now? So take it away.
Okay. So, my name is Sean Olivera, for those who don't know me, and I am a Christian hip hop artist. I have been steadily doing music for about 6 years now, but I would say for the last 3 years, it's really been just consistent and more of like a real sustainable thing. So what got me saved was actually a girl. I'm not gonna front. So I was dating a girl, right?
So this is
So
girl.
it, it's the truth. So I mean, literally, long story short, her mother told me, "Listen, if you don't go to church, you can't date my daughter." So I was like, "All right, you know what I'm saying? I'll go ahead. I'll do the thing. I'll do whatever I got to do, right?" So
Good, good.
and again, longer story, even shorter. I noticed the conversion when I really started to care about God, when not only I would get emotional in church because of what I was going through, but when I started to care about Christ and his sacrifice, and then getting emotional over that, be like, God, you did all this for me. So then I started to notice the change, right? And then I started living for God. And that was about a decade ago. I want to say that was probably like 10, 11 years ago, right?
Right.
So that's how I became Christ, a Christ follower. And then after that, I just started to hang around like, different people who are into music because I love music because of my father also. My father, I'm not 100% proud of it, but it's kind of like a funny story. Luke and Two Live Crew, like the booty bass kings of Miami,
Uh-huh.
my dad was their traveling sound engineer.
Hey,
So I
okay.
was raised around music, like, and then my uncle, who rest in peace, actually passed away. But he used to be like one of the main people over there at Slip and Slide Records for like Trick Daddy, Trina, and all that stuff. So I've been surrounded by music since I was a jit. Um, so then just got into music. I surrounded myself with like a couple people who were doing outreach. And at the time that I entered music, I wasn't popping because when Christian hip hop first started, it was like this: you need to have a testimony, you need to have a couple gunshot wounds in you, but now you for
Uh-huh.
the Lord type deal. Like, so I didn't have none of that. I was like, I want to do Chris Brown music, but for God. I want to do like poppy stuff, but for God. My stuff was not popping. So then when the switch came in CHH and people actually started wanting, just more than that, and the genre expanded, that's when I started to, get a little bit of exposure. And then I've been doing, look, for the past 3 years, Mr. E. He's a well-known DJ here, and me and him have actually been on tour for the last 3 years, man. So we've just been touring the country, praise God, at different youth gatherings, conferences, camps, all these different things. And the Lord has really been showing out, man. So I've had collabs with some good artists, and it's literally moved into now where I'm at right now. Not many people know about it, but me and my boy Julian are opening up a recording studio. So
Dope,
that's where
awesome.
I'm at right now. Yeah. So it's
Yeah, I think
been
I saw a little bit of that on your social media. I'm like, okay, he's going
so
into that
yeah.
studio stuff. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome,
So I
awesome,
mean,
man.
so that's been my journey in a nutshell so far. So it's just been amazing, man. And then next year I got some real good plans. I was just in a meeting right now that I stepped out of, and next year is gonna be
Hey.
amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
All right,
Promise.
well, when you make it big, don't forget, us little people, just
No.
throw me a free
Ooh.
ticket here from time to time, okay?
No, matter of fact, now that you mention it, I think I'm gonna need you. I just got off the phone with somebody who wants to do a 4-song EP, but needs a
Oh,
guitarist.
oh, okay. We'll talk sidebar. We'll talk
Yes.
sidebar.
Anyway, so yeah, sidebar. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But yeah, but no, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, with that tour, I guess like, because I've been trying to get you guys over for a minute and then quarantine
Right.
happened.
Right.
But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We
Amen.
got the space.
Amen.
I got the plan. I just gotta set the right date.
Right.
So I have like hopes that, maybe one of your one big party tour stops will be at his house.
It
But
will. I'm sure it
but
will.
what but I guess like what you were talking about, like what differentiates you in the genre and the CHH you know this big massive pool of music out there. What kind of like sets you apart? What has really been like the challenges?
Mm.
And if you can share maybe a one real challenge story and
Right.
maybe another victory story kind of thing.
Right. So I'm sorry, what was the first question? Can we go in order? That was like
I
four
guess,
questions.
okay, what sets you apart in the industry? Like,
Okay.
what can people expect when they go to a show for you?
They're gonna get two things. For one thing, I'm very transparent.
Hmm.
I believe, and I've been in the game for a little bit, so I've seen just like some weird things. And long story short, I've seen one person on stage and one person off stage. Um,
I know that.
what you get with me on stage is exactly what you're gonna get on stage. I am a
Hmm.
goofy dude. Like one of my songs I have is called Goofball. You're gonna get the
Hmm.
goofy guy on stage. You're gonna notice you're gonna be like, he's kind of swaggy but a little weird. And then you're gonna notice that off stage too. So
Yeah,
it's like I
yeah.
can dance, but I'm awkward at the same time. So it's
Mm,
you're gonna always get that with me. So I believe that really helps me stand out. And God has blessed me with with a good cardio game. So
mm,
the other thing that I think stands me apart is that I'm not too young. I just look kind of young, praise God, but I'm not that young. But I can
mm.
hang with kids like half my age, because
Yeah.
we'll sit there and perform at youth groups and I'm tiring out these 19, 20-year olds. And I'm like, yo, or these 16, 17-year olds. And I'm like, yo, you're supposed to have cardio for days, bro, and I'm tiring them out. So I
Hmm.
think transparency and the high energy is really what sets me apart.
Legit, because I've seen you at shows too, and you make
Right.
me tired just watching you do what you
Facts.
do. Like I'm like someone needs to like come up with like an aerobics training based off of what you do at your shows.
Christian
That's
Zumba.
legit.
I'm
Yeah,
down.
Christian Zumba. There you go. Oh, and now I know what your next business adventure is. It's Christian
Right. I can
Zumba.
do it.
All right, so I know like music industry is tough. I've dabbled in it too.
Right.
And I know definitely a lot of people who are in it too. So I know that everyone's got their stories and it can be
Right.
hard.
Right.
So you share with us just that one, like really, I'm sure you have many, but if you had to pick one, like one story where it was just like, oh man, that was just either a rough show or just a rough experience.
Okay.
And
Well,
I guess how
I'll
you,
tell.
and I guess
I
how
got.
you bounce back from it too, you know?
Okay. Well, I got a great example. This is the one that I bring up all the time because I'm sure most
Mm,
people who live in Miami have been to Kyoto. Like they know about
Kyoto.
Kyoto. Kyoto's like the popping thing, right? So
Hmm.
actually, praise God, I was one of the first Christian artists to perform on a Kyoto stage, right? So
Wow.
it was a big stage. There was a lot of people in the front, right? And then
Hmm.
there's these things that go by. They're called Junkanoo bands, and they have
Hmm.
like 10 pieces. And there's like one guy with the little, and
Hmm.
then the other guy with the one guy with the
Yeah.
cajon, like. There's a
Yeah.
bunch
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
different people, and they're just walking down Kyoto, right?
Hmm.
So they were walking down Kyoto, heard my music just from far off, and they were like, yo, this is amazing. And they sat there and they brought the whole band, but they had like 200 people following them. So there was like 200
Yo.
people coming up to the front of the stage, right? And they're bobbing, they're going like this until they heard the words of my song. And the song that I was
Uh,
performing was Got My Bible in Hand, so you could tell I'm Christian. I kid
this.
you not. I kid you not. Like the whole band was jamming out. And you see like this one guy, he must have been the leader. I swear to Bob. Like he was like the leader of the crew. And
Uh-huh.
he looks at me, he goes like this, and he goes to his friend like this. And I'm on stage seeing all of this. And he
Mhm.
goes to his friend like this and he goes, Christian. And then his friend goes, 250 people bounce from my stage. And then they
No.
even take away the people that were there because everybody else that was there, the 50, 75 people that were there,
Mhm.
were like, why are they leaving? I'm a bounce too. I had to finish the song to like four people in the audience. So
No.
that was a horror story because it was just like,
Yo.
yo, as soon as they heard the word Christian, they booked it. They booked it, man. So, but to be
After an
honest,
experience, yeah, I was gonna say after an experience like that, do you ever like second guess, like, man, do I maybe I should like scale it back? Maybe I should be more positive listening. Like, what do
it,
you?
for me, no, because I know my role. right?
Mm-hmm.
So when there's artists who are just trying to test the waters and be like, yo, does this work? Should I be like God Over Money, Bizzle and Seven and be like hardcore Christian? Or should I be like Reach Records and kind of just, do positive,
Mm-hmm.
good feel music, but we're maintaining our Christian morals at the same time.
Right.
I feel that my music, at least at this point, like I always say, seasons change. But
Mm-hmm.
at this point in my career, I believe my music is like early Lecrae. It's to help Christians be Christians. So
Gotcha.
you can sit there and take some morals away and be like, this is how I need to live. This is how I need to do my walk. This is how, and to take Christianity more seriously than just a Sunday service.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I believe my music is for. If other people believe their music is for outreach, praise God, because we need that too. We need both of
Mm-hmm.
those avenues. But my
Right,
music
right.
is going to be strictly Christ content until God tells me otherwise. So when
Right.
I see all those people leaving, I'm just like, it is what it is. Like, and then I even wave to them. You know me. I ain't got no
Mm-hmm.
shame. I'm like,
Yeah.
bye. And I go like this, and then I keep going. I ain't got no shame. So
Uh-huh.
it didn't matter to me. It really didn't matter. But it's
Mm-hmm.
when you know your purpose and you're
Mm-hmm.
not ashamed of the lane you're in. And I'm not either one. I know my purpose and I'm not ashamed of the lane that I'm in.
That's good, man. That's good. I mean, honestly, like, I think a lot of the times, like, as an artist, there's a bad habit that tends to happen in the earlier seasons where you try to replicate. You try to
Right,
be like Lecrae. You try to be like Andy Mineo. Those men have callings on their lives. God has called them
right,
specifically to do what they are currently doing right now.
right,
Take the time and find, work on your craft. What's your style? Lean into God and what He's calling you to do. You weren't created to be Lecrae. You weren't created to be Andy Mineo, KB,
right,
Kanye, whoever. You were built to be Sean Olivera,
right.
and you be you. You do,
Yes.
and you're ministering to people, and you're
Mm-hmm.
bringing positivity. I've seen you at youth groups. I've seen you at concerts, and people, you turn up, dude. And like people,
I try.
I had you and Eddie out at that Deck the Walls event,
Right,
at his house, and not everybody there is like a Christian.
right,
And you
right.
had people like they're dancing and having a great time and whatnot, and people were talking about that for weeks after. They're like,
Wow,
"Man, you got to bring him back." Oh my gosh, it was great, best one of the year,
wow.
and stuff like that. So it's like, and look how like God ultimately ends up using that. You end up blessing people you
Right,
don't even realize.
nice.
Um, so be encouraged. Okay, so we got the horror story and
Right.
how you learned from that. What's like one of the biggest like wow, just hugest encouragements, like one of those like biggest moments for you?
Um, and this is just, I want to clarify this. This is just strictly speaking as an artist, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this to be misconstrued as, oh, you only care about the numbers. You only care about how many people are there. Like, to be honest, I've had more times in my room that are more impactful to me than ever on stage. And I'm a
Mm-hmm.
firm believer in that off stage means way more than on stage. Anything I do on stage
Yeah,
is,
for sure.
it's cool, it's instrumental, but it has a limit. Things that
Mm-hmm.
happen off stage, the conversations off stage are
Mm-hmm.
amazing. But strictly speaking, as an artist, one of the most impactful and encouraging times, I got to minister at an event. It was called the March for Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
and this event was at the youth fair grounds,
Yeah.
and I got to minister in front of like almost 30,000 people. It was
Yeah.
it was just a sea of people. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of those
Awesome.
events that it was just like you tell people to put their hands up and it's just like woof. Like it was amazing. So stuff like that is encouraging because you see just how powerful music is. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I love. Like that's what I love because I don't believe that a lot of these artists, like I hate the whole Christian and secular argument and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Because I know that a lot of these artists really don't like the music they're putting out, but it
Mm-hmm.
sells.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's selling, it's working, and it's like, why should I do anything else if this is working so good? So if we could just get more depth and more
Mm-hmm.
and actually make Christianity fun. and make it to be like, yes, God desires certain things from you, but you need to be so joyful that you will be going to heaven. We need to start the party down here. So that's the concept behind One Big Party, is celebrating now before we get to heaven, and we're singing holy, holy, holy in his presence. Why not start now?
That's right, man. It doesn't, and I think it's great too, because I think the misconception with, like, Christians or believers and whatnot is that, we're lame, I guess, I don't know, this misconception of, like, sitting around, just singing like old hymns to, to an organ or something. Like, no, man, we like to have fun too. All right.
Yes.
So, like, don't think like the fun goes away just because I'm a Christian.
Right.
So, oh man, I'm like trying not to hold you up too long. So, okay, so I got young kids, they love, music and whatnot. So if you had to give them like a quick pieces of advice, when it comes to, like, if they want to pursue music as like a career, what are some pieces of advice you could give them to do that?
The two things to anybody who is trying to put out music, and that's funny because we're piggybacking off of the meeting I just had, it's quality and consistency. That's it. You have to have a clean product. Nobody, like you said earlier, nobody wants a replica. Nobody wants the Cray remixed. Like, nobody wants that. People want to hear your sound, and your sound might not sell as much as Lecrae's sound, but it's your sound. Like, you can't try to mix the two. But you have to have a quality product, something that you're putting out that people, they know it's mixed and mastered, right? They know the recording studio. They know the recording studio. They know the recording studio was legit. And then when you're consistent, when you are constantly in people's face, they almost have no choice but to at least check you out. They might not like you. They might not be like 100% your fan. But if all you see is, like, a Beyonce song that keeps popping up in commercials and all this stuff, and then it's like, I got to check this song out. And even if it sucks, you at least got into it. So yeah, quality and consistency are the two things I would say, man. And never get discouraged. Like, if you truly believe this is for you, never get discouraged, man, and keep going, because it only takes one song. Legit. It only takes one song to just, and then that's it. You're in people's radar, and you can dictate a lot once you're in people's radar.
For sure. That's awesome stuff. And Eddie was saying a lot of the same thing about, like, honing in on your craft, like really invest in that and put out, like you said, quality and be consistent.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up, now's your chance. Tell us what you're doing, what's been going on lately, what's the new business venture, all that jazz. Share with us what's going on with you now.
So, legit, me and my friend Julian, he's been my producer for basically any song you've ever heard of me. It's been produced by him. I've only recently started, like, going into other producers and stuff like that, and that's more so because they've hit me up, praise God. So, but most of my tracks are all produced by Julian, and me and him, we opened up a recording studio in Wynwood. So we're, like, here in prime real estate, like 5 blocks away from Art Basel. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I had someone knocking on the door.
Oh, okay.
Quarantine.
So we're literally like 5 blocks away from Art Basel when they have it. We're 2 blocks away from Biscayne Boulevard. This is like creative central. You know what I'm saying? And we got blessed with a place, and we built this thing from the ground up. So literally, as soon as COVID hit, we have been in here. You want to see it?
Dude, you can give us a tour. Give us that 2-cent tour.
I got you, man, because there's one thing to talk about it and then one thing to show it, right? So it's in a security building, which is is the like the main part, the front part, and then we built it in the back. So we literally had to build this from the ground up, right? And we're still currently in the production process. So this is what it is, and this is the wall. This is the main wall dividing it, and then this is where I'm gonna take you guys. Hold on. And I'm gonna do a couple shout outs real quick. So we got,
for sure. Shout everybody out.
Julian in the house. There he is right there.
Hey.
This is my boo thing right here. This is Monica.
Hey, boo thing.
we got Gabby. This is Rael. Look out
Hi,
because we got
Gabby.
a single coming out. Anyway, this is my boy Josh, right? Josh, and he is
Hi,
with a
Josh.
company called Sound Seekers and his lovely wife over there.
Hi, lovely wife.
So that was the meeting I was in, and then this is the recording studio.
All right.
So this is
That's
it.
awesome.
So we literally, I mean, it's completely legit. If anybody knows about these speakers, if anybody knows about this equipment here and stuff like that, it's not boo-boo in-house stuff anymore. We got my minions on deck because they ride with me wherever I go. And then come over here, and this is the recording booth.
Nice, man. Yo,
So
you've been busy.
Been busy. And you saw the gray floors over there, right? The gray floors and the white walls, that's what this was. And we literally had to paint everything, build these walls. There's a lot. I've been very busy. Yes, ma'am.
I see a suggestion in the comments that you gotta do a big gathering for the grand opening, man.
Ooh,
so you gotta I better be invited, okay? I better be invited.
I'm down. I'm down. That's
awesome.
My boy, man.
Awesome. Well, one more question, a random fun one, and then you can tell us how we can just keep track of you and all that stuff. You can give us all your social media and whatever, and what's coming up. Quarantine. What's been your binge? Everybody's binging something. Everybody's watching something, man.
Man, you want to know what I've been getting into, man? And I'm not going to lie, I feel convicted sometimes watching it, but it's such a good show. I've gotten into Money Heist. Have you seen this show called Money Heist?
Yo, you're the second person who has suggested this show.
For real?
I think the last person I interviewed suggested the same show, Money Heist.
I can't lie, it's so good. And the thing is, it's not even in English. It's like a Spanish show, and they have like not only the subtitles, but they've translated it into English. So the words don't always match up with the lips and stuff like that. But the show is phenomenal. It's so good.
Okay. I think the Lord is telling me something, and apparently I need to watch Money Heist. Have you watched Tiger King? You better have seen this thing.
I have not seen it. But I hear a lot of people are watching it though.
Sean, I'm gonna delete this interview. You need to watch that show, man. It's like a slow-moving car crash. You can't help but watch. Whip out your phone and take pictures. But okay, next time we talk at this grand opening, you better watch the show, and you need to tell me if Carol Baskins killed her husband and fed him to the tigers.
I'll watch it.
I need to hear your opinion.
Baby, we gotta watch Tiger King.
That's what you tell her.
She said it's really good, so we gotta watch Tiger King.
Carol Baskin did it, didn't she?
Carol Baskin did it. She did it for sure. For sure.
I know she was innocent, but I think she did it.
Yo, look at her face, man. That lady is so suspect. Like, for sure.
She's twisted.
Yeah, for sure. Twisted, super twisted. Wow. Okay, man. Well, Sean, thank you so much for doing this with us. How can we stay in touch with you?
I would say easiest way is right here through Instagram. So literally just at Sean_Olivera. So SEAN_OLIVERA. And that's the best way, man. Listen, I'm not the type of artist that doesn't answer my DMs and stuff like that. I respond to all my posts, my DMs and stuff like that. So please feel free. I'm more than just an artist. This goes way past music. So please hit me up. Feel free.
Thank you, man. Dude, love you. So much love for you. Thank you for doing this, man. And stay in touch. Thank you again. Yep. Take it easy. Stay safe, all right?
Love you, girl.
All right, later. Bye.